WoW is a big game. One so big, everyone who has picked up a controller ever in their life will probably have heard of it. As well as being one of the first massive online multiplayer games, it is also one of the longest lasting. Able to withstand 12 years of... Is it 12? It might be more. Anyway, 12 years minimum of changes, players, cycling, and it's probably raised more kids than the Hungry Caterpillar. But you can throw compliments to WoW and its legacy and all the things it's probably influenced, but the developers don't seem to know what gave it such a standing, and have just been throwing out expansions like an EA Sports title. So let's take a look. The first point of interest is during Warthog, Wrath of the Lich King, where although the game did boast its highest ever subscriber count, it is also when the game stopped growing. Growth is a huge thing in economics, and seeing something cease growth foretells a recession. So, what change stopped the growth of WoW? You know, I want to place the blame on bind on account gear and the introduction of an instant level 55 character, also known as the Death Knight. You know, these two things started the idea of the alt character culture, where one account plus a mailbox could do everything themselves. Blizzard intentionally limited each character to be in one class, and each character to only have two professions. You know, this meant you had to talk to other people to get things like enchants, gear, armor packs, gems, potions, all that stuff that is needed to play the game. You need to talk to someone. But then being able to get a level 55 character with 100% mount instantly defeated that idea. Buying an account gear at the time in in October 2008, when it was first released, was a lesser threat than an instant high level character. You know, allowing leveling 20% faster, plus however faster it is to do things with the extra power of the gear, which is substantial because the gear is stronger than everything in slot until maybe level 79, 80, or whatever the max level is now, because you can level up the gear, can't you? In its current state though, BOA gear is a mess, allowing a character 50% extra XP and a full set of gear that is stronger than all other gear until max level heroic dungeons, as well as 100% mount at level 1. Look at the. This is a comparison between blues of around level 30 and buying an account gear at level 30. It's pretty fair. Staying with Warthog, the last major content patch in the 8th of December 2009, patch 3.3, introduced the now notorious Looking for group. You know, originally intended as a daily quest for max level characters, the random heroic dungeon, it quickly became the main leveling method of a lot of players. In conjunction with the now ridiculous BOA gear leveling, leveling a character doing LFG is the same as being... Hang on, let's go that. In conjunction with the now ridiculous BOA gear, leveling a character doing LFG is the same as being power leveled and rushed through dungeons for free. Leveling a character doing LFG is the same as being power leveled and rushed through dungeons for free. Alongside currently being a power level battery farm for all alts, LFG was also another step towards making the community temporary and interaction with it unnecessary, similar to other popular online games. With it unnecessary, similar to other online popular games. Prior to LFG, the only way to find a dungeon was to gather a group of people on your server, get to the dungeon using that crappy stone, and do the dungeon. You know, anyone left, you have to all leave and find a new guy, which is bullshit level impossible. But anyway, let's go. That's what I think it was down to. That's what I think Wattle added to the game. Or that what was added to the game in Wattle, sorry. That really shifted World of Warcraft into a kind of more online catering game. I don't know when this was introduced, but inter-realm phasing, I assume it was Cataclysm because I don't remember it being that big of a thing. And it's incredibly annoying because the game is filled with people that you will never see again, all wandering about. You can't add them to your guild because they're on a different server, and they're wearing so much BOE gear and using the 100% mount that you can't keep up with them. You know, they are the water-injected meat of video games. It's almost fraud. And it adds again to the idea of temporary community. All these people will just skip past you without ever helping because there's no point. In Mists of Pandaria, Looking for Raid was added. LFR was probably one of the biggest changes, I think, too. Or one of the biggest eye-openers to how much they didn't care about the game being about community. With LFG, you couldn't touch endgame content. Even with the 200 gear rate in doing heroics, you would still need to find a guild to do the actual raids. The entry-level 10-man raid, Nax Ramus, when I played the game, obviously. You know, Nax had a gear rating of 200 to 213. LFR had... wait, what? 200 to 213. Nax had gear ratings of 200 to 213. And 25 had 213 to 226. LFG was a platform and boost to get you into them, with hope for some other people, you know, and who were doing the dailies as well. So they got something out of it, whilst you got the gear, essentially. LFR, on the other hand, blasted that idea out of the water, allowing you to pull without ever saying a word, and eliminating ever needing to find a guild to experience any sort of endgame raiding content. Garrisons. In case you're wondering, I'm long gone. I quit in early Cataclysm. You know, I've come back a few times to do some like early levels, just mess around in that bit. It's nice, really, isn't it? Just doing that bit. Well, I think it is. Because after that, you actually run out of zones, basically. You know, at level 30, you're doing the same. There's only 2 zones, whereas level 1 to 20, I guess, there's 20 zones, I guess. Anyway. Garrisons, anyway. And I'm just speaking on what I heard. Basically makes the game into a Facebook strategy game. And that is the main way to get everything. Your gear, your gold. And it's all single player, without ever leaving a single place. I think that is a huge nail in the coffin for community and World of Warcraft's original ideals. Paying for maximum level characters, or level capped characters. To me, this one's actually really strange because, alongside the squishing of XP and leveling, and the abundant use of LFG, or to the level of abuse, it's almost acceptable at the end of the downward spiral. If everything else is so easy or so one-dimensional that you basically just sit there doing dungeons whilst wearing better gear, why not just pay for it? Because then Blizzard get more money out of you, and it's, you know, all kind of crap. But the comparison I got it down to as well is with the old way of leveling. You know, if you compare it to vanilla days, I guess, and the grind, you know, the days of playtime to reach anywhere substantial. And people saying they enjoyed grinding, but for me, Grinding was one of the worst parts of video games. The only reason I think it's acceptable in WoW is because of what it does and contributes to, which is community. Community. Every time you return from your quests into that main hub area of a questing zone, you are greeted by a group of people and NPCs all chilling, dueling, talking, crafting, all that stuff that you do in towns, in other games, I guess. I don't know, maybe. An oasis of community in otherwise single player experience, which is basically what WoW is, whilst leveling up. It's very solemn, you're wandering around doing quests for people, enjoying the stories, the lore, whatever, and it's nice to see other people in the game. And normally the only place you would see them is these hubs, in places like the Crossroads in the Barrens. What was the swamp called? Oh my gosh. What's that little town called in the Swamp of Sorrows? I remember that place really well, but I don't remember the fucking name of it. Dungmore? Darmore? I don't remember. Something like that. And that was the thing as well, because of the hubs, you felt you were advancing. You see people around you level 10 to 15, and then you went to a new place, and these people were 15 to 20. And I thought that's something the game misses now just because of LFG. Fuck you, LFG. Ruining the game, dude. Back onto the max level character. Being able to buy a max level character, you never learn about or feel that way about the community. You don't know what it is. You just jump in at the max level. But as I've said alongside all the other ways Blizzard has made the community temporary, this is okay. It's an end product to all these other little stages, attunements to the game. Yeah. I think it's a shame though. It's such a shame that has become okay, or become basically acceptable because of the other shit they've done to the game. In no RPG should buying max level accounts be a thing. That should be shady business you conduct along again with Romanians and Chinese people that seem to be stuck inside basements. WoW is still there to be played how it once was. You just have to turn down every single thing Blizzard throws at you that makes the game easier. All these things Blizzard have added has changed the community and ingrained bad habits on them, similar to other online games where toxicity reigns supreme. And knowing that you'll never see these people again lets you do some ridiculous things. Bonus clip! The game even has a quest in Durator telling you not to take shortcuts.